What's up? Much like this morning, last night was a vibe. I want to thank all the brothers that came through to mentorship, man embodiments gathering, right? We were talking about our fire, our inner fire, and you'd be surprised at what came up. So tonight, little did I know, I have the Harmonizing Circle over at Holistica. And I thought I'll probably do one again next week. So I'm excited to then invite the ladies now. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hold space, and I want to do some practices to really bring your fire to the forefront, to speak about it, to see what's your relationship been with it. We're going to watch the same video that I posted prior to the last group. And of course, I got a lot of the men's opinions, and we want to see what is your experience, what you're feeling. And first, what I have video-wise is, of course, and I'm going to talk about it as well, but I have a video with a young boy sitting with two older uncles. Both of them are prior servicemen, so to say, in the midst of some young men coming in who are super immature and also not aligned in terms of principles. So these men come in and they start to pick on the older guy, but little do they know this man is a man of a lot of character, strength, wisdom, experience, and is also in touch with his commando, so to say. He knows and is willing to die and also to kill if necessary. And so it's important for a lot of the people who are not like that to really be honest with themselves. And as men, we create the spaces for men to really know what is inside of them and then to act in accordance with that. It's not wrong if you have a stance that's definitely more tender. You know, we seek to cultivate all of it, but also recognize what you really are inside and then have you walk in accordance to that, because it all works together. Ryan, what up, homie? You, aloha. So here we are, and I'm excited to do this at Holistica, Harmonizing Holistica, you know, harmonizing circles with men and women. And so this is the one space where you'll catch me, besides the Freestyle Fridays, in a group therapy capacity, a group gathering capacity, but with the women. As you guys know, my focus is I'm going to get even more obsessive with it. I'm going to focus on the men because I see where there's a need. I see where I can give the support, and of course I know it's going to benefit the women in their lives because I'm telling them right off the bat, and I can show them and speak to how everything that we're doing is going to benefit the women, their children, their legacy, their vision for themselves and their family, and again, first and foremost, right, themselves as men. There's a lot that we don't really get to dive into and speak to and have witnessed and seen and cultivate, especially through conflict, but we get a piece here. Maybe we'll get a piece in physical training. Maybe we get a piece from jiu-jitsu or from Muay Thai or some other fighting capacity. Maybe you have missions and a business aspect. And then there's, again, the family part, right? Raising children, going through that process. But here in Tulum, the minority of men are in that place where they've raised a family. They are raising a family. They've gone through, you know, the marriage, the divorce, have an adult child, whether they've been there or not, but there's a lot of experience that comes with it. So when you go back to the story, I guess it's going to show up before this, and you press the button that takes you to Holistica, there's what do you call it? Not a resume, but like a little bit of bio on me. So that should give you a little idea of just a smidgen of who I am, but also why I stand firm and I'm just going to move forward. There's no doubt in this process that I'm getting to hold for the rest of this journey, but also like definite seriousness, and the intention is to benefit society, community, to come into that space of harmony and to really be realistic about what it takes to come into a space of harmony. So we're speaking to your inner fires, your rage, your anger. How do you navigate with that? The emotion of anger, the energy of anger. What has it been for you ladies in your life? Thank you. What has it been for the women? How is it showing up in our women? You know, there's a lot of discussion about being so much in their masculine, the men being so much in their feminine, etc. There's always a balance to be had, and it's fluid, okay? But really coming into a space where we also recognize when there's too much fire, what happens? What's necessary for you to be able to quench that flame a little bit? Is it even necessary to suppress it? Where have you been suppressing it, and how is it showing up physically in your bodies, in your womb space, in your organs? What organ is anger sitting in? Some of you who are into Ayurveda may have some insights as well. And then there's the physical journey, right? The actual experience. Now, I have the experience of really suppressing a lot of emotions and having it show up in disease. Twice I've had to navigate with cancer. 2 times I persevered. And now at this point, if it shows up again, I will persevere. If it shows up in other people's lives, which once I get off this, I'm going to reach out to another brother who's probably has a terminal diagnosis, and we're going to talk about what we really do. I'm here to get people through, and I'm clear on it. And also, I have my own journeys and my own struggles. And I have papaya, which is a gift. So, ladies of Tulum, ladies who choose to visit Tulum, I will hold an event, and I guarantee you will take a lot from it, because that's the intention. And also, the other work that I'm doing is in dedication to men, my brothers, and by virtue of that, it's dedicated to you, because we know, we recognize, or we forget sometimes that we proceed from the women. We didn't come out of another man. An aspect of us came out of another man and implanted itself and created magnetism and a vortex and an opening to pull in the constitution and all the components that we get to navigate these bodies. Now we want to dig into why. Why would we proceed forth from the divine goddess in this journey here? Why would we take on bodies? Why are we put together the way that we are? And why is it of benefit? How have we been looking at ourselves? This is for the men, through the eyes of society that's really not beneficial. And how to reframe. That was the word for the end of the night last night, which is fantastic. And it actually came up in the harmonizing. Reframe. How do we reframe? How do we transform? How do we transmute and also discern the things that are coming our way to get into a space of clarity to then do what we're called to do and to not do what we're called not to do. So this is a long journey. It's a marathon, as my sister Love would mention in Nipsey Hussle. We have a journey ahead of us, and it's cool. There's a lot going on in the world right now that we can focus on for sure. But what I want to offer is some different perspectives that help us to also digest the other things that are being presented to us. So of course I'm going to stay in my square, so to say. I'm going to play not a role but I'll be on a roll, and I'll be definitely focused even more so because I am walking with a level of discernment. I do have a history. I have journeyed in relationship. I have gone in with my eyes open and participated in folly, so to say. I've also gone in with my heart open. I know how to reopen my heart. That takes work, but I'm so clear on it that it's not an issue for me anymore. I'm open to all the things that come with love, and yet I want to move with wisdom and discernment. And so there's a lot of things that we can speak to, and we'll just deal with it case by case. I'll be doing this the rest of my life. So if you miss this one, don't worry. You'll be able to catch me. Access to me may not be as easy in times to come, but I'm always going to put something out, and I've even come to Tulum, and I have given. When I say given, this isn't given like, to boast. I'll post some pictures of my journey so that you can see what is beauty to me, who has impacted me, what has been, some of my greatest moments of really understanding myself, my inner child, my sex, what I'm about, who I'm about, what it means to me, what it is to connect, what I want to bring to relationship, what I'm not going to let myself get in the way of in relationship, and I'm damn sure not going to let another person also step in the way of that. Because what I'm cultivated within myself is for my legacy. It is for the beloved, however it precipitates in my life, and all the beloveds along the way. And I don't have shame about my journey that I'm aware of. I'm open to the discovery and things coming up, but I'll work through it because I'm committed. I'm committed to the thing. And then as a virtue and as a gift and as a connection, a law of correspondence and action to that, then everything else gets to benefit. And so this is what I'm looking forward to cultivating with the men and being able to speak to, see, witness, and support with our sisters. Okay? So please, ladies, it's good to have a man focused on the men, and it doesn't mean that I've lost sight of you or that I'm trying to separate the men and the women per se. My goal and my intention and my life purpose and my incarnation purpose is to bring people into harmony, which means I have to continue to work on that within myself and then work with the men around me, because we have to pass the batons to each other. Some of us have gone through various difficult initiations, and the reason for that is for us to become more aware and awakened to who we are, and then we have to pass that activation. We have to pass that intention. We have to pass the process, the structure, the ability, the why, and really it's to enable other men to get in touch with their why. We men pass that on. That's what we do. So we have to be in the presence of each other without any women in the space. Okay? And then we get to bring that back to you. And you guys can look and be like, oh, something has, oh, in my drawers, my heart, my mind, my physical being, something has shifted. I'm activated. I can't even call it. But what I know is that this person feels safe. He's considering me. He's thinking of me. His actions speak louder than his words, and his hips don't lie. What is this about? What changed? Every man has this potential. Every man has this potential. Not every man is going to seek after it. For the ones who are open and who want to seek, we can get busy. We can bungee, as they say. We're going to get things done. Anthony, what's up, my brother? Andre, again, me Tulum. Thank you for tuning in. I'm actually going to be able to keep this one short because I do need to check into something else. What I'm excited about is tonight's gathering at Holistica. This is the Harmonizing Circle. Next Wednesday, we jump back into the men's space. Freestyle Fridays is also something where a lot of the fellows have been showing up and we've been able to work through things. Hermano, we get to work through things in a different way, all right? So I am a ceremonial man at heart. Every event that I do, I'm bringing some deep intention, and I'm witnessing what happens when you bring deep intention, and it doesn't matter what the event is. Every event that I do, I'm looking at it through ritual and ceremonialistic eyes with the intention to transmute, to connect, to grow, to come into harmony. And so if you look at the videos for Freestyle Friday, it's a lot of fellas have shown up, right? A lot of men are showing up, and you see camaraderie there. Even if we want to battle rap, do you see how they're respecting and navigating with the women in that space? Do you also understand that we're bigging up the women and honoring them on the stage and in life? So there's a lot of principles that we get to put into play and then talk about them. I'm a fan of action, the thing, and then we can reflect, but I can also articulate what I'm doing and what I get to do. I'm loving the one-on-one masterminds, and also, I'm going to begin offering blueprint sessions as well. It's a much easier intro to getting to know me, to getting to work with me, to receive from my activation, and also to have something that comes with a metric, so you can measure your growth and alignment, and that'll help you to the next stages of what it is to work with someone, to invest in yourself. There's a lot of fear. We're in different places financially, So for every way that you invest in yourself, you will grow if you also understand the ways to capitalize on what you've invested in. And this is, I think, where the blueprint comes in handy. The 8-week man-embodiment, men's mastermind. It's a relationship and business mastermind. I know how to work with one or the other. I like the relationship aspect more, because I'm big into intimacy, but it plays out in your finances. It plays out in the business that is called a household, and with your daughters, your sons, your partner, the people that are coming across you. Discernment, structure, discipline, will, and knowledge of self is super important. So we get to dive into that. And, I want the women to know where I'm coming from as well, and also to witness them. And I've got a lot of data from my own personal journey, and then from the work that I've been doing nonstop since 2016, and actually earlier. So I can literally say, just about my entire journey, I have been aware, looking, seeking to bring people into harmony, identifying things that are disharmonious, and then working on it. And I've been in a position to bring people together from very high levels of, whatever. I've just been in a good position to do that, and I'm going to stay in that position. And I can walk and stand strong in that authority, because it's a responsibility. It's my kuleana, so it's not even like anything to brag about. I'm just saying, this is what it is. This is what I'm doing. If you're open to receiving, reach out, let's connect. This is your time. And, use my page, flip back. I put a lot of information on it. Many of you may not know this, but I'll just say it. This page is for my daughter. It's for me and my child, right? And the children who are to come afterwards. Unless we have an EMP and we lose all this data, at any point that she decides she wants to look into who her father is, because we're a bit estranged during this moment, she can. And then when the time is right and it's fast approaching, there's so many tools that I have now through this experience that, we're going to have such an amazing reunion and relationship. Beyond anyone's pity, beyond anybody's projections, I'm in the truth and the future of what is manifesting day by day as I continue to grow with myself, and that we continue to work together. Harmony. What do you got to do to get to it? For the men, again, what are you navigating in terms of your anger? What are you repressing The emotion of anger, I'm speaking specifically to it. Your fire. Okay? And then how do you navigate with that in the space of other people? Sending my love and aloha. I got a minute. You guys have any questions? Anthony, any thoughts? Anthony, it's nice to have you on here. I hope you've been doing well. I'll open it up. Are there any thoughts, hermano? Any questions, anything that you want to share, or anything that you'd like us to also mention in the group tonight that might be beneficial for our next conversation? Let me know. And besides that, we'll take a breath together in gratitude for this day, in gratitude for, if things are looking crazy, the flip side, because we live in a duality, is that somewhere in some of our lives, things are, la papaya es, boom. Things are coming together as well. And so it's easy to just look at what's falling apart. I keep my head on a swivel. I'm a fan of looking at what's off, being very honest with it, with myself, if I can, expediently, and then asking the question, right, how is this helping to bring something else together that's going to be beneficial for myself and the people around me? And what do I need to do to be a benefit to the thing that is beneficial? And so if we're going through this turmoil with, the government in the States, of course, that's to take your attention away. So pay attention. Things are fucked up in a way. There's an election coming. There's got to be drama. That's just part of it. Okay? Back away from the Truman Show. Now, what is it that you want to do during this time? What is it that everyone else is focusing on? And where all their energy is going? Do you want to put your energy there? Can you just put a little bit of it there and then be economical? And identify where you were putting your energy before this thing happened, and ideally, why would you need to, and what exactly can you do to affect change? Identify that, set a course to do that, and then take your energies back and put it into your family, your growth of your skill sets and self-improvement, building your confidence, learning about what's actually happening to us systematically and where you land in there, and then what to do. Who do you invest in? What support can you invest in? You dig? So it's a strategy thing, and the guidance is there. And what's always the other part of it is, what will you do? What questions do you need to be asking? What questions don't you know to ask that might benefit you? And I'm someone who asks a lot of questions. Rico, ¿qué tal, hermano? Good to see you. Rewind, man. Last night we had that great conversation with the men in the men's group about the fire, the fuel, how we navigate with our rage, our anger. Where are we suppressing it? What about our violence? Are we okay with it? Are we not? What to do, how to bring it up, how to direct it, and how to carry ourselves in the space of other people who sure as fuck can't gauge us in that space and also don't know what to do with their violence. And sometimes it's a matter of immaturity. So for us as men, can we spot it? Can we not feed into it? Can we make a good decision for us that's going to help us in the long haul, right? Long game. And then also do it for the benefit, and maybe even convey with the men, with those young dudes who need it, some wisdom, some information that might save their lives and other people's lives in the long run. And really, it's a thin line, as we know. It's a very thin line. Life is precious. And also, life is created to not be life at some point. Maybe that doesn't sound right. Things live and die. This is what's promised to us. And so how do we do things in the meantime, in between time? And how do we honor and heal? You know what I'm excited about, brother? My brother, who you haven't met, but you may at some point get married here in October. And so I've been given the opportunity to be the best man, which means I get to create the bachelor party. Now, some of you know me from the past, and you know the kind of bachelor parties and events that I got into in Hawaii, on Oahu, and other places, and even when we were in college. No, I'm looking at that from a different perspective. The bachelor party is an opportunity to take men through a rites of passage as well, to identify a lot of things, to usher and move, the man who's going to be taking his vows with his partner into a great mindset, and to also commit to him. And so I'm going to actually start to work in the space of bachelor parties as well, with men, making it adventurous, good, cleansing, healing, a space where everyone comes back rejuvenated, and we have a commitment and a mission to support that man who we are groomsmen of, to make things smooth for the wedding, and to make that an amazing day that activates an amazing life. as best as we can, with all things, with all things accounted for, especially character things, so we can talk about it all. So I'm really looking forward to this for my brother, and I'm going to begin to offer that as a man-bodiment, maybe the man-bodiment best man's activation, something like this, where we activate the king, identify the prince, talk about the little boy, and then we bring it all together. And I'm going to do something like this with servicemen as well. So Rico, bro, let's have a chat. I want to get together with some other brothers, because the other thing that I'm going to do is the returning soldiers reprise, or the rebuild, where people are coming out of the field, coming back from the theater, and having something specifically for them to be rejuvenated, to be refreshed, to be able to speak to some of what they've gone on with people who can handle that, and also to honor them, what they've been up to from a different perspective, and to not throw the baby out with the bathwater, but to rejuvenate the vessel. And I think that's important. It's important. Tulum is a great place for it. I've got a great number of places now that I have access to, and so this is what I want to do. And I'm thinking I'm going to get something together in September, as opposed to doing just a conscious business mastermind. I think I want to focus on something that rejuvenates the men, which is needed, something that speaks to their issues, a number of issues that gives us enough time to drop in, to cleanse, limpia, to receive the activation of this land, and then to take that shit back home and make good on it. And for whatever they choose to do, they bring that activation back with them, around their unit, with the people closest to them, with their community, and also have a break. We need a break sometimes, man. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited to open up that space. Samson, I can't wait for you to get back here, brother. Where you at? We're going to do the harmonizing gathering tonight. We're going to talk with the women about their fire as it relates to how they navigate with themselves, what they're holding, what they've been able to release. And I'm going to do some practices, so we're going to get a little physical tonight. Respectfully physical. I'm not going to touch nobody. But we're going to move, and it's going to be a little bit like a gathering with the women, but they're going to get a taste of what we do with the men. Basse. Remember the last meeting? How the ladies kept jumping every time I put that other energy into it when we were finished. And it wasn't like, oh. It was like, Basse! Like, oh, Basse! But by the end, they were in touch with that. They were putting that fire out. I love you, brother. You're in Cusco, Peru. You heading back? Bueno. Yeah, man. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you when you get back. Myself, you, brother Source. I'd like to do something. I'd like to get some workshops going here. I've connected actually with the mechanics out here, so we want to do something for the 12-year-old boys within us and on up. Where we can physically learn some good things to do with their hands, which is beneficial, and have that connection. And then also, let's talk about doing a rejuvenative with the waters. We want to work with the men and their waters experience for the men. So I count you someone that I'd like to do that with, and I definitely want to do this for. I swear to God, I am gonna impact so many former servicemen who are servicemen for life anyways, before I transition in this life. And if it doesn't happen, fuck me. Okay? I'm coming after them. If I know there's a lot of things to be done, I know there's a lot of issues that are in the way, clearing that shit out the way. Brothers, pass this on. If you have a brother who's been in the theater, who's navigated with the military and the armed services, I don't know, I'm funny about the police, but also the police is cool. You've seen some things. Those of you who've also been in the hood have seen some things, right? So men are born into a war. They're not even aware of it. And there's a lot of casualties, but it's also, I know it's a perspective, right? Well, some of them hold that perspective, and we see it taking place. And so let's attend to that and get everybody on the happy kumbaya vibe by virtue of work and commitment and identification and clarity. Practices, dig? Oh, I love you, brother. Yeah, man. We all are. One man. We're here. And we're honoring the women in the water. I'd love to do some more water ceremonies. I'm happy to be in a space where we get to have the men honor their waters in a way that a lot of times it's like honoring our waters, but then there's some sexual shit tied to it. In some of these spaces, there's a different aspect to the tantra that we get to wield and walk in and be here with. And so we have that. And then of course we get to navigate our waters in that space. We get to talk about it all. But we are in amazing vessels to be able to do some powerful work. What do you think we were created for, right? So why don't we just honor that? Why don't we step into it all the way in this life? And why don't we pass the wisdom of how to step into it so that guys don't have to go to the jungle so far? You know, we're going to make that knowledge accessible in a way that's aligned to who we are in this life, that honors also the indigenous and the wisdom keepers, and creates and reactivates, you know, the wisdom that is kept within us so that we can pass that down. And this is going to be a benefit to the experience that we have within this matrix. Matrix ain't the enemy, right? It's not the enemy. Did we see that in the movie even? AI is not the enemy. Plastic is not the enemy. Even the enemy is not the enemy, right? When you come into some real understanding about what's going on here, even your enemies cease to be your enemies. But we got to look at what's going on. Hallelujah. What's up? Aloha. All right. I don't need to be on one. I need to get to work now. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Ladies, even if I'm the only man there, it's fine. I know how to listen somewhat enough to benefit you. Please show up tonight. Tag a sister who can benefit from the Harmonizing group, because at the end of the activation, you get to take with you something a little bit differently. You'll be able to look at a relationship through some different eyes. You'll have some insight that's well worth receiving, and you get to know yourself better. And so we want to know you, right? Even when we use the term fuck, we're speaking to carnal knowledge, but let's throw the forced and unlawful away. We're speaking to knowledge. We want to know. Divinity comes through all these different vessels and different prisms to reflect upon itself, to shine its light, and to open up to a real knowing. And don't lie to me. You want to be known. You want to be penetrated. You want to be felt. You want to be held. You want to be seen, supported. You want to be enabled to be all that you are in and of yourself. But the desire for the attention of other beings is still there. So it's not, I'm saying that it has to come about through us, but there's a way that we can do this so that you can be fulfilled in your own self-love, and then really enjoy the benefits of what it is to be in the presence. The presence, right? At present, as a present. And enjoy the sharing of our essence. So, look forward to seeing you there, or at a future gathering. You have my aloha, and this is my goodbye. I'm gonna crush the rest of this papaya. Crush it. Crushing it. Love you, brothers, for having shown up. I'll see you soon. Samson, be safe, man. Tell Peru I say hello. I look forward to visiting at some time. And I'm excited for you to get back here. And also to do some things with the spa. So let's be thinking about what we could do as a nice... I know you've already got the gifts, but I want to chat with you so that we can also activate the waters of these men so that they can feel. And I'm going to be doing surf and spa events here as well now, right? So that we do surfing, some yoga, some other activation, spa, and then I will, for certain people in groups, be also doing some of the massage and energy work, because I also have, a little experience in that space. And with that will come the integration of the whole thing. Thank you so much. Aloha. Base.